Hey guys, today on Earl's Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make Asian sticky back ribs. And not only am I going to show you how, but I'm going to show you how not to burn your hands when you take them out of the oven. You guys, just like that, you made some awesome hot pan, because I did. Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. This morning I woke up and I said, you know what I want? I want Asian sticky ribs. So I've got some savory butcher, meaty back ribs here, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it with my own personal flair and make the sauce as I go along. The first thing I want to do on these ribs is I want to get a hold of this membrane and I want to pull it off the bottom of the ribs. This is going to allow me to get a better bite and a better chew without having to deal with this. Then I need to make the rub. So the rub's not going to be like what you see me make normally, like on in a smoker and stuff like that, where I'm trying to get the paprikas and the chilies and stuff like that. This is going to be a different type of rub, and we're going to finish it off with a sweet component that you probably won't expect. So we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of ground mustard over here. We're going to go with 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. Uh-oh, is that a whole tablespoon? Let's call them heaping tablespoons because we're making ribs and I definitely want that sweet component. We're going to add some cracked pepper. Man, oh, I love this stuff. And these things are just so sticky when you get done making them. You aren't going to believe it, but the flavor is going to be out of this world. So we got a tablespoon of cracked pepper, and we are going to go with 2 tablespoons of garlic. This is just granulated garlic, you guys. Nothing crazy. And we'll end up mixing this all up in the bowl. And don't worry about getting your hands in there because this doesn't have to be a perfect mix because we're going to be rubbing it all over the ribs. But before we rub it on the ribs, I want to take some toasted sesame oil, and I'm going to rub that on there myself first. And I love toasted sesame oil, and it definitely lends itself to that Asian flair and flavor. So I took the membrane off of these, and I patted them dry. Oh, that smells good. And this is where we get messy, you guys, because if it ain't messy, it ain't good. We're going to take this rub, and we're just going to start putting it all over these ribs right here. Look at that. People are going, you're making a mess. I'm making them good. Flip them over, dump this on, give it a rub. Okay, so I've got to separate these to put them into my pressure cooker because I want them to fit. So I'm going to go right about here on the middle of the bones, and I'm going to cut myself 3 nice sections like this. And once I do that, I can add a little more of that seasoning. Put it just like that. Put it just like that. And this pressure cooker is going to run for about 25 minutes. If you go any longer than that, you're definitely running the risk of these things falling off the bone too easily. And you don't want that. You still want to have a little bit of a bite for them. So in the pressure cooker, I'm going to put a cup of water. I'm going to put about 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar. And then I'm going to add some balsamic. Just for the flavor, nothing crazy. This is the same stuff you use in your salads. Then I'm going to close down my pressure cooker, hit pressure cook, hit my time. Oops, wrong one. These things are smarter than me, you guys. Say, hey, that's the wrong doggone pressure, wrong setting there. And we got a child-proof lid on the pressure cooker. Perfect. Pressure cook on high. Boom, boom. And she's going. Alrighty, so I'm going to run about 25 minutes on that. I'm going to take this mess. You know what? Look at all this good seasoning. Oh, I'm not done yet. I'm going to throw it on here. I'm going to throw this seasoning on here. Now, in a lot of my videos, you'll see me actually take the remnants of the things that I'm cooking and I will make a gravy out of it. We're not doing that today because I'm going to show you how to make my own Asian barbecue sauce. So put the lid back on, pressure cook, and set. All right, so we've got our ribs in the pressure cooker right now. It is time to make the sticky sauce. When I get done with these, I'm gonna probably make another rack, but let's get this sauce made together. So again, this is my own flair on the Asian type sticky back rib. We're going to start with a full cup of soy sauce, and not that low sodium stuff that everybody seems to want to gravitate to. Yuck. But we're going to start with a whole cup of this soy sauce. And then we're going to do a half a cup of brown sugar. We'll get this guy going here. We're going to do a half a cup of brown sugar. And just a little more for good measure. Then, most people, when it comes to this recipe, will add sake in here. I'm not going to do sake this time. I'm actually going to do something that's probably on a lot of people's shelves, and I'm going to throw whiskey in instead of sake. So we're going to put a half a cup of whiskey in here instead of sake. So we'll call it a whiskey-infused Asian rub. And this is Conor McGregor's Proper 12. Delicious. And then we're going to add some mirin. So this is just a sweet cooking seasoning used in a lot of Asian dishes. So we're going to put a half a cup of that in there as well. You'd think with sauce I'd have it everywhere, but I don't. So we got that there. Put this on. Man, I'm telling you right now, if I don't put these caps back on, you already know I'm going to be spilling it. Okay. So we're going to add a little bit of ginger. Now, you can use fresh grated ginger. I'm going to use a powdered version because I don't really feel like taking the time to peel down a ginger root and stuff like that. So we're just going to put 2 of these little 1/4 teaspoons of powdered ginger in here. We're going to add a tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. You know what? Let's go with 2 because I kind of like the rice wine vinegar. And then we're going to go over to the honey. Now the honey, we're going to add 4 of these. One. Kind of like getting a shot, right? 2. Oh, it's still going, doggone it. The reality is it's still sticking in my doggone spoon. 3. Is that another one yet? Is it another one yet? I feel like it's another one. Oh, there we go. 4. So we got some of the honey in there. I'm just going to run my spoon around to get this thing cleaned up a little bit. There's that mess I was looking for. Oh my gosh, that's smelling good already. Okay, so we got a lot of sweet components in here. This is just garlic chili. I like it. I could chop up some cloves of garlic, or I could put this in here, and I'm just going to put a tablespoon of that in as well. It's going to add a little bit of bite to my ribs. And then we are going to put this thing here on a low simmer. Well, we're going to take it up. We're actually going to take it up to a boil, and then we're going to bring it down to a low simmer. We're going to get all that sugar in here. By bringing it up to a boil, those sugars are going to start to caramelize, so it's going to create a stickier substance when I put it on my ribs. If you look over on the pressure cooker here, I've got about 8 minutes before that starts evacuating pressure. So we'll just let this come up to a boil. And I'm going to probably get another rack of ribs ready to put in there because this is going to be so good. I'll talk to you here in a sec. All right, so if you look down here, we got this boiling nicely. So before I turn it down to a simmer, it looks really thin right here, right? I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch. So I'm going to stick a little bit of cornstarch here. I'm going to get a little bit of cool water. Not a ton, just enough to mix her up. This is a roux, y'all. They call it a roux. And we're gonna put some of this in there, and this will thicken up nice and quick. And because it's cornstarch, it is not going to take on a different flavor profile. We're just going to add a little bit of that in there. And that, as it goes, is going to help it thicken up. All right. So I just released the pressure on my pressure cooker, and oh my gosh, the smell is amazing. My sauce is thickened up pretty doggone nice. I'm just kind of letting her settle down just a little bit. But look at these. Ooh. I'm going to grab them. Look at that beauty right there. Now, here's where options come into play. A lot of y'all would like to take one of these cute brushes and just lightly dust it and paint it like you're on a TV show. Not me. I'm going to take this rib and I'm just going to dunk her on in. That way I know I have gotten sauce everywhere on this rib. Oh, buddy, look at that. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to come back along and maybe do a little bit of light painting. But we're going to set that right on the plate there. We're going to take and dunk this one. Make sure she's good and coated. Oh, gosh, that smells good. And you know these ribs are tender. They're so, they've been pressure cooked for 25 minutes. And we'll grab this last little beauty right here. Now these are going to go in to my broiler. I have my broiler set at 500 right now, not 550. I don't know if it's going to make a heck of a lot of difference, but that's just kind of the route I went with it. Those are just too pretty for words. I found a snack. Man, that's good. All right. Into the oven, 500 degrees. We're going to start getting that caramelizing going on. Okay, my timer went off, and these things are done. Let's look at them together. Oh, buddy. Oh, look at these. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Those are just pretty. We'll hit it with some sesame seeds. You guys, just like that, you made some awesome hot pan of sticky back ribs. Don't grab the pan when you take it out of the oven. It's hot. But man, that's how excited I am to eat these things. Now I'm going to run my hands under cold water, and we'll see you next time here on Earl's Kitchen.
Are you okay?
You know what burns me more than a hot pan coming out of the oven that I just grabbed with my bare hands? Is when you watch my videos and you don't smash that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe so you can see my videos in the future. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Earl's Kitchen.